In today's video, you're going to learn real-life, step-by-step techniques to remove gel polish, prep the nail, apply acrylic, and reapply gel polish, all in 35 minutes, so stay tuned. I'm Lori Halloway, known as the Meticulous Manicurist on YouTube and an expert in the field of nail technology. You can find my next scheduled in-person training workshop on my website, themeticulousmanicurist.com. I am using my diamond mini cone medium bit with the electric file in reverse on about 12,000 RPMs. I'm using the bit to remove the dry cuticle around the new growth of the nail. I am not pressing down onto the nail plate with the bit. I am pressing back toward the cuticle area and floating the bit across the nail plate. This action will remove any adhered skin on the nail plate, so when you apply the new acrylic, it will not lift. If you're having a hard time understanding how I can focus only on the bit pressing back onto the skin, try to envision that you are only aiming the tip of the bit and the top right hand side of the bit. Forget about the bottom, forget about the top, forget about the left side of the bit. You are only focusing on the tip and the top right hand side, using it almost like a cuticle pusher. It's just floating across the nail plate, and the bit is so small and your speed is so low that you can literally feel any tiny buildup that is under the bit and around the skin. Be very gentle, do not push, and do not go fast.
Come home. I had to stop at my mom's on the way home because she's had little baby mice and she's been catching one every day. Well, Marvin hasn't had time to pull things out to find out where they're coming in at to fix that hole. But she's went like almost 2 years without one, so I don't know where they're coming in at. But they're babies.
Oh.
And she's down to one cat, so he's a good little mouser. And Marvin had set traps underneath her sink. Well, he got the cupboard door open with his paw.
Here you can see my client's hands resting comfortably on the ergo lift, my new patented hand rest for nail technicians. There's a palm rest that her palm is resting on, and her fingers just hang in a naturally down position. So I can pick up a finger and work comfortably and then drop it and move to the next. Here I am using the ceramic bit. It's a cross-cut medium fine cone bit. I go up the center of the nail. I have a lot of control with that tapered end, and I'm very careful not to hit her natural nail with any of the bit. Move the bit to the left of the nail. You can see I do not have to turn her finger in any uncomfortable position to get the remaining polish off the sides of the nail. My electric file is just over the medium point, so if you don't have numbers or a dial on your electric file, it's set at about 18 to 20 RPMs. Now you can use your electric file left to right, or you can use it up and down like I'm doing here. But if you're not careful to use light pressure, you'll put grooves into the surface of the acrylic, and then you're going to spend time either filling it in with more acrylic or filing it smooth after you fill the acrylic in. We could all make a list a mile long of all of the bad hand positions a client can get into, and you're going to see how I adjust one in just a minute.
Think about taking physical therapy at the hospital. I says, no, yeah, what do you need to go there for? To do what? I said, you can do so much with your heart. You can sit home and raise
I don't know why when we have a hand right where we need it to be, clients feel the need to move their position, but you can see that she just moved her arm, and because there's a wrist guide and a palm rest, I just gently move her hand right back to where I need it. The angle of the hand rest, the client's hand is pointing directly to the center of my body. So I'm able to work sitting straight up without shifting my hips left to right or causing any pressure on my lower back. Now we're going to talk about how I get the nail polish off so quickly. I get dozens and dozens and dozens of questions every single day. They don't understand how I can remove the polish so quickly. So I'm going to explain to you a couple of things that you are paying zero attention to right now. Nobody even knows they exist. And it's all about science. It's all about force. You can see that I'm balancing my hand with my pinky on her thumb. This allows me to utilize the power that I have in my hand. So when I need to change an angle or to press down a little bit more, I have that force that I need to do that. I also have her thumb resting on my hand. I push up with my fingers just a tiny bit to try to sandwich the finger or the thumb in between my hand and the electric file. You can see here that I'm using the entire surface of my index finger to rest her finger on my finger. So I can use my hand and my finger to push up gently. I'm balancing my hand that is holding the E-file, and I can press down. So I don't have to go over and over and over and over again to get the polish off, and I don't have to press down hard. You know that you're pressing too hard with the electric file when you hear it go, like if it bites down into the acrylic, it makes a horrible screeching noise, and that means that you're pressing too hard. You need to slow down, adjust your speed, and adjust your pressure, and let the bit do the work. But instead of watching me remove the polish with the bit, I want you to watch what I'm doing with my bottom hand and fingers and what I'm doing with my hand that I'm holding the electric file with. And then you can rewind and watch me remove the polish with the bit. But I want you to understand how you need to use your body and force to actually help your job be a little bit easier.
Picture of my heart, the way the blood's flowing in and out, how it's pumping and all of that because of my family history. So I don't think there'll be anything wrong or anything like that. But she was just taking precaution. Because my grandmother had a bad heart, my mother has a bad heart, and both of my uncles, my mom's brothers.
Yeah, but you don't smoke or anything.
No, but they didn't either.
Oh, they didn't?
No. My grandmother did smoke. My mom smoked for about 7 years, but they told her that wasn't long enough for her to have the heart problems that she had. But she had rheumatic fever when she was a kid.
Oh.
And then her physical therapist guy come on Monday. Well, she just come home Sunday. Her place was clean. I had to stop by there for something. And she wanted me to come over there and clean and pick up everything.
Hi, honey. You don't? Oh. No. I'm not going to edit out any of the downtime in this video because I want you to realize that you do not have to rush to do a service in order for it to go smooth and in order for you to do it quickly. You're going to hear some conversation that I'm having with some of my staff, and you even heard me be surprised when my son walked in to the salon and I was wondering what he was doing out of school. While I was filing off the gel polish with the electric file, I was also inspecting each nail at the same time. I was making mental notes as to any areas that were lifted that I was going to have to go back and nip off with my nippers. So here you will see me going back around each finger and removing any little areas that are lifted before we fill with the new acrylic. Here I'm using my 150 grit edge file to make sure that the sidewalls are nice and straight and the end of the nail is shaped nice and symmetrical. Oftentimes when clients go in between their fills, even from friction and wear and tear at home, the ends of the nail can get off shape. So she doesn't want any length taken off today, but I'm just making sure that they are still nice and symmetrical. Now we've already gone around the cuticle area with the mini diamond cone bit. Now I'm just going to blend where the old acrylic and the new growth of the nail is, so it looks nice and smooth and we don't have any lifting.
So what did Marvin's test say?
Well, he won't know because I have to take the CPAP machine. It didn't read anything, it didn't work.
I just can't believe that they can get out of one day.
Yeah.
They know what it's going to do. Because anybody that ever gets that test, they all end up getting a machine.
Yeah. Well, I had to stay the night at the hospital and they read me there. But it's different now. But if it had worked and he had a good reading and they didn't like it, he would have had to go in and stay the night.
Nobody likes staying the night at the hospital.
Yeah. And they don't like you to come till about 8 o'clock at night. And then they want to kick you out of there by 6 o'clock in the morning.
I've got to get a new washing machine for the salon this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
When it spins, it makes the worst, like, you can hear it all the way through the floor now, and it never used to do that. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. When I was editing a video a couple of days ago. I could hear the washing machine in my video. I was like, oh great.
I have adapted several different things over the years to help me stay efficient and effective while I'm working with my clients, and one of them is to use a glass acrylic monomer pump, and the other is I'm sick and tired of dropping lids on the ground, so this is my little bale closure glass jar that I keep my powder in. It keeps out any moisture, and I'm able just to pop open the top and go ahead and start working very quickly.
Yeah.
You're probably thinking, we're already at, almost 16 and a half minutes. How in the world is she going to finish this entire service in 35 minutes? Well, it's because it only takes me between 4 and 5 minutes to lay the acrylic, and then it just takes me another 4 to 5 minutes to file the entire hand, or both hands. So my goal is to talk you through sitting and laying the acrylic carefully so that you too can speed up your time. I've already got a tiny bit of monomer in the well, so you can see I just kind of flatten my brush out a little bit so it only has a tiny bit of monomer. I'm going to slow it down so you can see it. I sit my brush, pull it through the monomer. I'm kind of wiping the edge of it a little when it gets to the edge, and now I'm going to just quickly tap my powder and pull up. It's the count of 2, like 1, 2, up. Touch for 1, you're kind of pulling, and then out of the powder. I have my ball. I place it near where the old line was of the acrylic, and then I wait for it to flow a tiny bit and then press it back to the cuticle line, making sure that nothing is touching the skin around the area. So let's watch this again. I'm going to place it. I'm going to push it gently back with the tip of my bristles, and this is my Meticulous Manicurist number 8 Pure Kolinsky Sable brush. It has no filler bristles in it. Get your brush a little bit wet again to smooth out any imperfections. That's what I just did. The thumb is a little bit bigger, so you might have to use 2 balls. So I move into the left side, and then I'm going to press the ball over to the right side and then pull it up. But I might need to grab a tiny bit more powder every now and then if you didn't pick up enough on the first pass. So right now we're at 3 minutes and I'm on finger number 7. And remember, we're doing salon nails. We are not doing competition nails. My clients are not into stilettos, ballerina, coffin, none of it. This client has the longest nails out of any of my clients. Most of my clients' nails are very average length, active length, and they are all either short, square, oval, round, or squoval. The type of acrylic that I use is a fast setting acrylic. When I pick it up and place it where I need it to be, you notice that it is not running down into the sidewalls or into the cuticle area. It dries just enough where I can pull it up and place it right where I need it to be, and it is completely dry by the time I get back to the first nail after 4.5 minutes. That's very important because after I'm finished laying the acrylic, I don't have time to sit and wait for another 6-10 minutes until that acrylic is dry. I need for it to be dry so I can start to file. Now that I've laid the acrylic and the acrylic is dry, it's time to file. Now, just like when I was a little kid, I always outlined my picture first, and that is my style. When I go to file nails, I always outline the nail first, and then I go in and finish filing in the center of the nail. The method that I call this is the bow method, because I place the file on the nail just like a bow on a violin does, and I gently push over and then pull back, and it makes the surface of the nail perfectly smooth and symmetrical, and I can eyeball down the finger to make sure that the balance of the nail is the same on the left and the right. It does take a little bit of practice to get this filing technique down, and as I give my acrylic nail training classes, in person it's a lot easier to understand because I'm able to show you how to balance and push and pull in person. And the next in-person class that I am doing is in April at the French Lick Retreat. Find all of that information on my website or on my Facebook page, or on Jill Wright has made a page for the French Lick Nail Retreat as well.
Need to teach her some techniques on using the electric file. It's just taking her a little bit longer to get off gel polish because she's careful,
Yeah.
you know, which is good.
None of my clients like sharp edges on their square nails, so you can see that I tip the file under a little bit to grab those corners to make sure that I dull off any sharpness that has occurred while I was shortening or shaping the free edge of the nail.
I was at home this morning and I was like, yay, it's Thursday. I get to see Pam.
And that's how I feel. Come in and get my nails done.
All right, you can go wash off.
Anyone
Yeah,
who
I
is
don't know if
struggling
I
with nail
should
polish application timing, I'm
buy the
going to
set,
do my
but
best to
the
explain
special
how
price for the
I
set, because usually when the washing machine goes,
use
the
my
dryer goes
technique
too.
Right.
and keep my nail polish
That's what I like
application,
to do,
even
that
with
way
gel
they're all at
polish,
the same
under
time.
8 minutes. So you can see that I place the brush and I'll scoot it back and forth a tiny bit, and the reason I do that is so the bristles of the brush actually splay out some. Then when I move to the left side of the nail, I'm only concentrating on, let's start again. So they're splayed out, pull it down, now I'm staring at the left corner. I'm pushing down those bristles so it covers the whole nail plate, and then I move to the right side. And while I'm on the left and the right sides, I'm literally only staring at that left corner and then the right corner of the nail polish brush, because I don't really care what those other bristles are doing. They're only going over top of what I have already polished. They aren't going to get on the skin. My goal is to keep this gel polish off the skin so I don't have to do any cleanup. Now, I did not buff the nails before I sent her to the bathroom to wash, because you don't need to, and gel polish can peel off acrylic nails if they're too smooth. So you want to leave a little bit of the file grit roughness on the nail plate. Now our hand's going to go into the gel light. A lot of nail technicians have 2 lights, one on each side of their desk, but I like to keep things simple, and I designed my hand rest to fit a gel light right in the center. So the client, while I am polishing the other hand, can slide the polished hand into the light so it can cure. And then she just switches hands. The armrest is angled perfectly, so the light does not get in the way of the wrist guides or the palm rest, so the client's hand still fits perfectly and is exactly where I need the hand to be. If she starts to get stiff fingers, all I do is push the fingers back down so she knows not to straighten them out as hard as she can.
How are your grandkids doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Did Melissa ever get another job?
No. Emily did that work. That's the one you're thinking of. That worked at Walmart.
That was Emily that worked at Walmart?
Yeah. She's working at FedEx. my son works there too. He unloads the big semi trucks that bring in the packages, and then he unloads them, and then she loads. Everybody's got certain trucks that they load up that deliver around here.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure you all noticed that I'm also not capping the free edge of any of the nails. Whoever started that trend was not a nail technician, because every nail technician knows that when you polish the tip of the free edge of the nail on natural nails, the nails
But they
chip,
start
and
early,
on acrylic
but
nails,
they don't
they
take no more
end
than
up
4 hours.
transferring the
And,
polish onto everything they touch. They
so
could
she
write
starts
their
at
name on a
3:30 to
piece of
4 in the morning.
paper
She's
if the
back
free
home by 8
edge
in the
of the
morning.
nail
That's
was
crazy.
polished.
Yeah.
So where do you have to take this SD card in the machine?
I got to take it back to the Reichert building at St. Joe's.
You going there next?
Yeah. I hope they have another one they can give me.
At the end of every nail service that I give, I always apply cuticle oil around the cuticles to remoisturize the area and to replace anything, anything that's aggravated from the nail file or buffer or products or anything else. Now, the one thing that I have seen in the past is that a nail technician will apply cuticle oil to the nails before they send the client to the bathroom to wash their nails. This is a huge no-no, because if that client does not get all of that oil off the skin or around the nails, you're going to polish, and that oil is going to get onto your nail brushes. So if you ever wonder why after you put something in a light and you're getting this weird bubble effect, it's because you have oil in your nail brush or in your application brush. So always oil after you're finished 100%, never before they go to the bathroom and wash their hands. I hope you've all learned a few tips and tricks that are going to be beneficial in your career, and I hope that you tune in for my next video and go to my website, themeticulousmanicurist.com, to the online store to pick up any supplies that you found useful during this video.
Perfect fall color.
Yep.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to visit my channel. People like you are the reason for my success, and I appreciate it so much. But remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel for all the latest videos. Remember, it is free, and I'll see you next time.